Here we are, The Sims 3, the latest chapter in EA's crown jewel. The Sims is the most successful PC game series of all time, with more than 100 million copies sold since the first game debuted in January of 2000. Yet let's be honest, after almost a decade of playing The Sims and The Sims 2 and the many expansion packs since then, the series is in need of a good overhaul. After all, there's only so many times you can send your sim to the bathroom over and over and over again. Thankfully, EA has delivered The Sims 3, and this is a major step forward for the franchise. The Sims 3 is a bigger game than its predecessors, and it's a better one. Let me tell you why. Now, the core concept of The Sims 3 remains the same. This is basically a virtual people simulator. You create your Sims, choosing whether they're male or female, what they look like, and you give them various traits. You then unleash them upon the world, where you can control their every move or let them loose and see what they do for themselves. As such, there's no real single story in The Sims. The story is what you make of it. You choose what careers that your Sims follow, you choose who they fall in love with, you choose whether they have kids or not. You even get to choose what sort of house they live in and what furniture they surround themselves with. It's how EA presents all this in The Sims 3 that is such a welcome change, though. Now, we can't talk about the game's graphics without mentioning the big gameplay change itself. The Sims 3 simulates an entire town at the same time, rather than just a single household like the previous games. Suddenly, the scale of the gameplay is so much larger than before. You can send your Sims anywhere in town without hitting a loading screen. This means that you can have bigger adventures without having to worry about sitting through lengthy load times. That alone is a huge improvement over the previous games. Your Sims themselves aren't a big leap over their cousins from The Sims 2, but there are improvements here. The facial features are rounder and softer, and a bit more natural, and there's a far greater range of body types represented this time around. You also have a lot more control on how they look. You can associate different hairstyles with different clothing types. You can accessorize by adding hats, glasses, watches, and more. Your Sims still speak in their charming Simlish, and the game has nice updates on familiar Sims themes for the background music. Everything, though, is clad in a high degree of polish, with the trademark humor that you've come to expect from the franchise. The big changes in The Sims 3 comes in how you play the game. It's now less about the mundane things and more about the bigger ones. Your Sims go to the bathroom a lot less, which frees up more time for you to send them out on the town. You can work out at the gym, go fishing, explore a park, go shopping, and more. If you have multiple Sims, you can spread them out over the town and switch to any of them almost instantly. Now it's fun to go out and explore. There are various goals to work toward, whether it's advancing a career, advancing a relationship, or earning enough cash to buy a cool object that makes life easier and more enjoyable. There's a nice sense that the town that your Sims inhabit is a living, breathing space. Anywhere you go, there are other Sims going about their business, and you can make friends with them or you can leave them alone. And yet there's a lot that remains untapped in this big new world of The Sims. Your Sims still go to work, but they disappear into their buildings for hours at a time. Wouldn't it be cool to actually control them at work somehow, and to make that work interesting? The Sims 3 also lets you share your content easier online, though the integration is nowhere near as seamless or as easy to do as in Spore. Still, you can make movies and edit them on the Sims 3 website. You can create custom patterns for furniture and clothing and share them on the exchange. And then there's a Sims store, which lets you purchase new items, clothing, and Sims using microtransactions.
Pagizos!
Put it all together, and The Sims 3 is a satisfying advancement in the series, expanding the scale of the game and paving the way for a lot of growth in the future. You now have a town that you can explore with dozens of other Sims that you can interact with. At the same time, the new game will be very familiar to existing fans, and there are layers here that you can spend time exploring. It could be said that The Sims is pretty much critic-proof, as EA could simply churn out more of the same and sell millions of copies regardless. But it's admirable to see the series take chances that, for the most part, pay off.